then again, what's the point of having fuck you money if you never say fuck you?
Welcome to Kyle Anthony's UFC betting show. I am Kyle Anthony, and welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the prediction show for UFC 250, Amanda Nunes versus Felicia Spencer. We're going to talk about two free plays that we have on this card. We're going to talk about today on the show. Also do have two plays loaded up right now on Wagertalk for purchase. My clients at this point are very happy at this point. Increased their bankroll by 54% from the beginning of this year. 83% winner overall. Hit a 5% play. First one that I released. Two clients, a Wager Bucks guaranteed play. Ended up cashing with Hill. Easy winner overall. So having a very strong year. And again, keep working forward. Love the celebration part. I was popping some, Dom Perignon this weekend also. But it comes back to, got to start looking back at stuff, got to start doing the capping, doing the research, always a card, always opportunity to make money. That's the great part about this sport. So we're into the two free plays that we do have, and the first one is going to be a prop on the main event of the evening between Amanda Nunes and Felicia Spencer. Now, I do have a prop here. You've got the odds currently. You've got Amanda Nunes at a minus 700, minus 650, 670, somewhere there. I've even seen minus 750. And you've got Spencer. She's going to be around the plus 500 mark, give or take kind of where you're shopping that as well. So, with that being said, we're going to first dive into Amanda Nunes here. And like we always do, dive through the last three fights, see what makes sense, see where one fighter can exploit the other fighter, and if it does make sense to place that bet. So we're first going to talk about Amanda Nunes. 3 fights ago, she fought Cris Cyborg. This was pretty much a super fight in the women's division. You've got Cris Cyborg, who is a monster when it comes into the MMA world on the female side. Nunes has consistently beaten some of the top-level females in the division as well. And in this fight here, this was a fight where 51 seconds pretty much is all it took for these two to really go at it. And right away you saw these two went at it. They started dropping bombs right away. There was really no game plan, I think, for both of these females. They were kind of just going right at it. Nunes looked to drop big bombs quickly. Same with Cyborg. They stood toe-to-toe instantly. And I thought the interesting part about this was the fact that in the 51 seconds of that first round, Nunes dropped Cyborg 4 times before she landed the big bomb that put her away, which I found extremely impressive, showing the power that nobody has treated Cyborg like that ever. And she goes out there and just absolutely obliterates her in 51 seconds. It was just one of the most impressive performances. That was actually a client play that I had last year that was a plus 250 on Amanda Nunes. I love the price there. She came out, got us paid, but also a great performance for Amanda Nunes. 2 fights ago, she fought Holly Holm. Now, this was another one. We've got another past champion, past legend when it comes into combat sports overall. And then this fight here, right away, was a very different feel compared to the Cyborg fight. And then this fight, you more had Holly Holm staying at a distance. They were both kind of, feeling each other out. Nobody was going in and just landing the big shots, looking to strike quickly. And I think that was where Nunes kind of looked to see the movement more of Holly Holm than she was taking a look at I'm going to go in there and see if I can just bulldoze her. So this was a fight where, also that the thing about Nunes is, yes, she's got the power, but she's a kind of fighter that is not scared, even if you've got your guard up, to just throw a shot, throw a hard shot. And the reason, at least in my opinion, the big reason that she's doing that, regardless if it gets through, it's not going to cause as much damage. Obviously, it's being blocked. But she wants these girls to feel the power that she has in her right hand or her left hand. I mean, she really could throw bombs with both hands. But she's able to really do that, and I think that's something that she did to Holly early in that fight, where Holly was pretty good, well guarded, and there were spots where she's throwing bombs, and I think she just wants her to feel that power. And at that point, you really see Holly, she just couldn't pull the trigger. She just really couldn't pull the trigger in certain spots where I thought you would see in some past fights, she's looking to engage, looking to throw combinations. She does that scream where she kind of runs forward and throws, 3 or 4 combination shots. She just didn't really do that at all. She circled circled a lot. She kept her distance. Nunes kind of looked to engage, and then she lands the the Holly Holm-esque Ronda Rousey shot on Holly, which, I mean, you really couldn't put it any better for Nunes to end the fight that way. She lands a head kick, ends Nunes, ends the fight. Another first-round knockout, back-to-back first-round knockouts against two past champions. Very impressive there. And then there you have it on that fight. And most recently, she fought Germaine de Randamie, and this is a very different fight. Now, and this shows to me that how well-rounded Amanda Nunes is, and how a lot of people, I think, really don't give her credit for how well-rounded she is, because she's been going through these women, she's been obliterating them, she's been hammering through them, but she's got the ground game that I think a lot of people aren't as much talking about. And in this situation here, you've got Germaine de Randamie, who is Muay Thai kickboxing champion. She has very big accolades in the stand-up game, great striking overall, and this was a fight where, you know what, you wondered if Nunes would actually stand and just bang with her. Would she stand and bang, or would she not? And de Randamie felt prior to this fight that this was going to be a fight that she was just, oh, Nunes is probably going to look to take me down. She's not going to strike with me. And that's pretty much what happened in this fight, where Nunes, threw some shots, threw the heavy shots quickly, but she level changed so well in these takedowns and so well timed, and was able to really disguise those takedowns behind these combinations. And it went 5 rounds, and it was one after the other after the other. She just kept taking de Randamie down, non-stop ground and pound, non-stop takedowns. And even when they actually kind of seemed like they were going to stand and just trade, Nunes level change, gets it to the ground, and de Randamie is definitely not someone who's easy to take down. She's not someone that's just will fall down on her back. She definitely is tough, and Nunes almost made it look easy because she did it for 5 straight rounds overall. So that was interesting fight, and I think that's something you could possibly take away going into the Spencer fight. A lot difficult to take something away from the Cyborg fight. A little bit from the Holly Holm fight, just shows her technical skills overall. But the Randamie fight, I think, is something you could take away when I watch that 5-round fight. We'll get into it more after we go over Spencer. Felicia Spencer, you've got on the other side, 3 fights ago in her UFC debut, she faced Megan Anderson. And Anderson here, she just has not, the hype has really not materialized for her overall, and has not just really been the type of fighter that I think they all thought that she was. She was an Invicta champion. A lot of people really had hype behind her. She kind of looks the part. She's very tall, very lanky. But this was a spot here where Felicia just right away got into a clinch with her, got her up against the cage. And the takedown ability, the ground ability of Megan Anderson is a little bit suspect. It's not the greatest. And even we're going to talk a little more about that in a minute too. But right away, she took Anderson down, got her back in that first round, gets a choke out. It was a very bad performance for Anderson overall, but it was a nice start for Felicia Spencer. She goes out there, she gets the first round submission victory, and that was that. So I guess we'll just go to the next one. 2 fights ago, she fought Cris Cyborg. Now, this is a fight where I think you could take a lot out of going into the fight against Nunes. Now, this was a fight here where, Cyborg, tough fighter. She's a well-rounded fighter overall also, but you don't really see it just because she's got the strength, she's got the power, she doesn't really need it. But you saw early in that first round, Spencer threw a couple very tricky elbows, very tricky inside elbows, and cut Cyborg, which was something that, you don't really see Cyborg bleed. She did get knocked out against Nunes, but you don't really see her bleed. You don't really see that. And she went in there, made her bleed early, but the thing about that was that Felicia just couldn't get her down. And that was something throughout this fight. Cyborg did look bad, as in that she was hurt. She definitely was hurt, but she never was in danger. And this is a fight that I think a lot of people are looking at as, hey, she hurt Cyborg, she hung in there, it was a tough fight, but she hung in there. She did. Without a doubt, she definitely did. But overall, she couldn't get Cyborg down. She really couldn't muscle her down. And even the striking that you really took a look at overall was very simplistic for her. She really wasn't very creative with it. Also, her striking defense lacked in a lot of spots. And, she did have the pressure, but never again. Cyborg just was not in trouble in pretty much most of those spots. And she was able to go out there, Cyborg, get the decision victory, fend off the takedowns consistently, and just work from basically even with her back against the cage, was comfortable enough. She landed some nice shots, but just Felicia Spencer not able to get Cyborg down is not a good telling sign when you're about to go up against Amanda Nunes. And Zahara Farron was her most recent fight. Now, this is in a very weird situation here because this fight, she did win this, of course, Spencer, but got her the title shot. So she goes up against Farron, and this was the line on this. You had Spencer was a minus 850, Farron was a plus 550, and Farron had one other fight in the UFC prior, and she lost to Megan Anderson by a submission, which doesn't also say a lot because Spencer ended up choking her out also. But in this fight, it was a quick first round fight. Goes in there, gets a submission victory, got Farron's back. It was kind of a sloppy fight overall. Farron's older. I believe she was in her upper 30s. It was just a fight that was almost, hey, let's set this up. Let's get her a title shot. So this was a win there for Spencer. She goes up there and gets the victory. With that being said, now I'm going to get into the prop and everything else that we're going to be talking about. But with that being said, you know that Amanda Nunes has got the power. You know that she's got, she's been, and actually she is another, I want to put this also, I have been betting Amanda Nunes since UFC 200. That's been about six straight fights, somewhere in that realm. And she's been priced fantastic going through that. With Ronda Rousey, she was around a plus 200. You've got Tate, she was up there too. Again, Cyborg, she was up there too. And finally now, the market has kind of caught up to her price. But with that being said, that she's got the rangy striking. She's shown that she can actually fend off takedowns, but she can also have a grappling game. And that is the path to victory for Spencer that I don't believe is really there against Nunes overall. And she's comfortable in the clinch. It's not that she needs to get out of it or she's going to be very, uncomfortable. She likes being in there. She's okay with it, but she's also good getting out of those scrambles as well. She's definitely very quick, at least breaking through and then at least having opportunity to get some space between her and her opponent. And then Felicia Spencer, her side, we know she's got the grappling. That she's, that's her thing. That's where she's going to go. But a big part about this is that she's not light-footed on her feet. And she just beat a 6-4 fighter to get this title shot. And the biggest part to me here is the only reason I feel that she even is getting this title shot is because the division is very thin. And Nunes has beaten so many fighters that they need to kind of build up a fighter. Felicia Spencer kind of fits that mold. She had that tough fight against Cyborg, and the UFC is kind of hanging their hat on that tight fight. But prior to that, she's 2-1 in the UFC, beat a 6-4 fighter. She beat Megan Anderson, who again has not really materialized as being this elite fighter that everybody really kind of thought she was. And then she never got Cyborg down, who is on that next level of fighting. So for me here, the big part here and the prop that I'm looking at is that I want to get off that number on Nunes. I'm not going to be paying up there. We're not going to be talking about Nunes at minus 700, minus 600, minus whatever it is. To me here, I think the knockout is where you go here. Now, you've got the first time that you got Felicia Spencer that she actually is going to be fighting in a 5-round fight. This is going to be a big spot for her that I think that even Nunes is just going to be able to work from the outside. Even if they get in the clinch, I don't like what Spencer offers. I don't think that she's got enough power to really get her to the ground. I think this is going to be a fight where you're going to see a knockout where when they are disengaged and when they are at least in space, Nunes is going to be able to really pick apart Spencer. I don't really see at all any technical skills in the striking sense from Spencer. They're really, again, hanging their hat on this takedown ability, which, again, she definitely has that. But Nunes is so well-rounded, and they almost make it out that Nunes is very susceptible to being taken down. I don't think that she is. She's definitely had way back. There's been certain scenarios where, yes, against Shevchenko and these things where she has really corrected all of that. I think this is going to be a great spot. The knockout that I'm looking at right now is a minus 135. I think that price is fantastic for a girl that should go out there that the market is telling you is a minus 700, and now you're talking about a knockout at a minus 135. At least that's what it currently is. I think it's a great bet. I think it's a solid spot. So I will be betting as my free play in the main event, Amanda Nunes to win by knockout. And the other one we're talking about is the co-main event of the evening between Raphael Assunção and Cody Garbrandt. Now, I'll try to go through this quick. Like I always say, I talk too much in this here sometimes. But I guess we're first going to be talking about Raphael Assunção. And Assunção right now, to give you the odds right now, you've got Garbrandt is a minus 152. You've got Assunção, he's a plus 126, somewhere in that range. And when you go back and take a look at the last 3 fights, again, I'll try to go over this a little bit quicker. 3 fights ago, he fought Rob Font. And this is a fight where I'm high on Rob Font. I like Rob Font. His boxing is great. His distance management is great. Great combinations. Doesn't really throw many kicks and get that in, but he has got fast hands. And this was a spot here where Assunção, being the smaller guy, giving up 5 inches of reach advantage, early knocked down Font. And from there, he really built a nice campaign in that fight. He went in there, got takedowns, very good in the takedowns, and he's also a kind of guy where great counterpunching. He kept landing big shots, pushing Font back, outboxing Rob Font. Definitely says a lot. I mean, again, definitely says a lot. I'm high on Rob Font. But a great showing and kept getting those takedowns, got the ground and pound. Font definitely doesn't have the ground game that Assunção has, but I thought he looked amazing in that fight. He goes out there, gets a unanimous decision victory against Rob Font. And then 2 fights ago, he fought Marlon Moraes. This was a quick knockout. This is a spot here where we all know Marlon Moraes. He is electrifying in that first round, and then boy does his gas tank go down and does his cardio. This was a spot here where he landed a big shot on Assunção, got on top of him, got the submission victory. Can't really take too much away from that. Assunção got lit up in that spot, and Marlon Moraes has extraordinary power when it comes to that. So Assunção does suffer a first round knockout, and then most recently he fought Corey Sandhagen. And again, another guy I am extremely high on who is on this card as well. And Sandhagen is just really well-rounded. He's got an arsenal of weapons. He definitely throws his weapons from all different angles. You know, the way he's throwing his kicks, the way he's throwing his combination from the outside. He's a BJJ brown belt. He has these credentials. So he's the kind of guy that really worked his distance management in this fight. Assunção just could not get in close. And a guy like Rob Font, I would think would have the opportunity to kind of work from the outside. But Corey Sandhagen really took that distance management to the next level. He looked great, kept from the outside. Every time Assunção threw a shot, Corey Sandhagen kind of was able to back out and kind of get out of the spot. Overall, it was really a dominating performance for Corey Sandhagen. But again, Corey Sandhagen, I think there's really great things for him in the future. And then you've got Cody Garbrandt. 3 fights ago, he fought TJ Dillashaw the first time, and I was actually at this event at UFC 217. And this was a fight here where it's bad blood. We don't have to get into all that. There was a lot of bad blood between these two. And this was one where both of these guys, in the beginning, first round, they kind of felt each other out a little bit. They were both kind of dancing around, you know, jabbing, talking some trash a little bit. End of that second, we know what happened there. Garbrandt lands a big shot, drops TJ, and then TJ almost looked like that was very close to being the end of the fight. If there was maybe 30 more seconds left in that round, he would have maybe finished him because TJ looked hurt. But this turns into the problem that Cody had 3 straight fights that we're going to talk about, is his emotions. Is his game plan? Is his fight IQ possibly? And in this spot here, in the second round, Cody really took his confidence to a next level, went in there, looked for the big shot, was pretty much had no defense at all. Either did TJ also, but TJ, they both landed some big shots. TJ lands the bomb, puts him down, puts him away in the second round, gets the knockout. And that was a spot there where, again, I really like what Cody does. Cody's got great boxing, good hand speed. His footwork is good too. But as soon as he starts getting either really hyped about the fight or emotional or he gets hit, he kind of throws all that out of the window. So he does lose that first time against TJ Dillashaw. And then 2 fights ago, it was TJ Dillashaw versus Cody Garbrandt number 2. And this was the same thing again. And this is a situation where you do question a guy's fight IQ. And before the fight, you know, Cody saying, I got to fight smart. I've made adjustments. You know, I'm not I'm not going to go in there and just go guns blazing. I'm going to just be able to, do my thing, work my strategy. And again, that goes out the window. He lands a big shot, looks to finish, landed a nice shot, looks to keep pushing forward, and then TJ once again lands the big shot, and it does, as we all know, the question is Cody Garbrandt's chin. How is it ever going to be okay? Is it just completely shattered at this point? And goes in there, he gets knocked out again, the second time against TJ Dillashaw. So there you have it there. And then most recently, he fought Pedro Munoz. And this is a fight here that, again, Cody Garbrandt does the same damn thing. He goes into the situation. Both of them again, looked like Cody was going to kind of work from the outside. He threw some, Pedro was throwing some nice leg kicks. It was kind of mixing it up a little bit. But as soon as Cody got clipped, he throws it all out the window again and is just looking for one big bomb. And Pedro Munoz, he does not have the greatest striking. He just doesn't. Pedro's good. And he's got a nice ground game. His boxing, again, is not very good. He's good in the clinch. He likes to make it dirty. But for him to stand toe-to-toe with Cody and land some shots, they both got hit. They both were getting hit. Pedro has definitely a better chin by far than Cody. Cody gets nailed. Cody goes down in the first round. Another knockout loss for Cody Garbrandt. So with that all being said, you've gotten this situation here, the boxing, again, like I'm saying, with Cody is great. He's got good footwork, good hand speed. The emotions is going to be a really, really bad thing here. But you've got someone like a Sun Tzu that has the great counter-striking ability to go inside and work. And he makes his opponents consistently pay when they do lunge forward, when they do throw those combinations. He absolutely always makes them pay. He also, for the most part, has a pretty good chin as well. And I like the fact that how he mixes things up. The leg kicks are going to be there because Cody, throughout that we've seen, he doesn't really check leg kicks very well. He's mostly, again, focused on that boxing that leaves his legs susceptible to being hit. And the other part also is the cardio. That I like a Sun Tzu's cardio. I think you've seen him in some other fights that he goes the distance, even fights that he's been beaten up on against Sandhagen. He still looked there when it comes to the cardio. He was getting beaten up, but he had the cardio. And that's a spot here that, again, could be consistent. So I do like a Sun Tzu here at the dog price. Again, you're going to be looking at about in the plus 130, plus 125 range. I think that's good. I can't take a guy that consistently does not pay attention to his coaches that are kind of saying, you need to back up. Your chin is not going to be able to take these shots. It's consistent in 3 straight fights. It's not going to get better by any means. It's almost like the Luke Rockhold syndrome where, Rockhold is one hell of a fighter, but boy, he cannot take a punch. And at this point in his career, he kind of just, that's it. It's kind of over. Cody's younger, but Cody is showing the same glass chin that Luke Rockhold has. I can't bet those people, especially at a favorite price when you're talking about the minus 160, minus 150 range. I like, in this situation, Rafael Sun Tzu to defeat Cody Garbrandt at plus 126. So those are my 2 free plays for UFC 250. We've got Amanda Nunes, prop bet. We're going to go win the knockout, minus 135. And we've got Rafael Sun Tzu to defeat Cody Garbrandt, plus 126. If you want to take a look at my plays over at Wagertalk, my client plays, link down in the description. Take a look. Hopefully we're going to keep moving forward here. Feels good, making money, popping bottles. What can we say? So we'll have the bet review show out on Sunday. Definitely appreciate everybody liking, subscribing, commenting. It's always great. We're all making money. We're all on the same team beating those bookies. And this is Kyle Anthony's UFC betting show. And I'll see you Sunday at the bet review.